Hey guys, Mel here, and I wanted to show you a project I've been working on. This is something I thought about a few weeks ago, but I just haven't had a chance to sit down and work on it. I created this random background color generator that I created with JavaScript and Storyline. So I used a JavaScript trigger in Storyline to create this. So as you can see, when you hit I want a new color, you'll get a random color and then the hex code will display up here, which is pretty cool. And then I wanted to use it to show the differences between the red, the green, and the blue in the hex code. So the first part is the red, the first two there. The second two is green, and the last two are the blue color. So you can see them changing differently. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can use these the color changing JavaScript and Storyline. And I wanted to show one example. So one of the first e-learning projects I ever did in Storyline, I created this sort of grocery store stocking the shelves simulation. And in here you can see this is a little bit into the module, but you're in the store and you're opening the store up and it's dark, so you want to turn the lights on. And this would be a good example of when you want to use the JavaScript for changing the background color. So for this, if you click on the lights, it turns bright, but you notice that the background is still dark. So it would be really cool if we could utilize that trigger there to tell it the background to become light when the actual animation happens and the store becomes light. So there's a few different ways that we can do this. There's always a few different ways. If you go to Articulate's best practices page on using JavaScript, they've got best practices and examples on using JavaScript, and you can go through and read all this. But it's really helpful, really great, and this is where I got my inspiration from. So one of the triggers on here we have is to change the HTML background color using this line of code here. So if you put this into your execute trigger and choose the hex code that you want, it will change the background color. And you can do this anywhere in your project. But I kind of took it a step further and I added some extra code that tells it to randomly change it, and then I set that variable to display the hex code. So let's go ahead and take a look at that so you guys can duplicate this on your own. In my project here, I have a background that is 100% transparent. So if you right click and go to format background, you'll notice it's 100% transparent because I want to be sure that people can see the color and not this white background here. So the color that the background is actually being set to. And then I have this button that triggers it to reload every time, and so it will re-go to this page every time, and then I have it to reset to the initial state because we don't want it to save. We want it to reload and run that script again. So if you go into the execute JavaScript trigger that I created, every time the timeline starts, we're going to execute this JavaScript. So you can set this to whatever you like. But for this example, I have it set to when the timeline starts. So you can go down and you can have it for when they click a button, or it doesn't really matter, whatever you want to do. And then in the script portion, I have this bit of code here. So we're not going to worry too much about this, but what I basically have this set to is the hashtag symbol or pound sign there, plus it's going to pull a random string out of this array. It's a random six numbers or letters out of this array, and then it's going to set it to this variable called BG color. And then what I'm saying is I want to set my document.bg color that we just saw in that Articulate forum there to that variable BG color. So basically it's saying whatever the random one that this generates, random hex code, it's going to set it to this. And then the way that I get my text is I have a text variable set up called BG color. So it's going to set that variable that I have on the stage there to this hex code. So that's how it's displaying it. So let me go ahead and show you guys this. if you go in here, you can see that I created a text box called BG color, and that's where that hex code is living. So the only other thing that you'll want to do is under the story.html file, you want to make sure this line in here, or this word in here that will be window, is changed to transparent. So you want to make sure that that's changed to transparent. That way you'll be able to see the entire background and there won't just be that white block there. So that's about it. The only thing that I would note is this won't work in the story HTML5 file, just because this document.bg color does not exist in there, and I haven't tried adding it yet, but you can go ahead and try that and let me know how it works. I hope this was helpful.